option already. I will show you. So that is also helpful in different situations. Actually, we return an option function. Okay, so and here I am creating an array. So where, so some cities. So some Delhi, some Hyderabad, like Chennai, like this. We have written some options. And now you have an option like find command. That means it will return and search for that and find it. So that means we learned already searched city. Okay, and here we have cities dot find, and you need a function. You need a function, and the function is a callback function. Already yesterday we learned that you can write in several ways. First, I will write a callback function search. This callback function will take the value and it will return the value. It will return the value. So that is matching. Value is matching with Hyderabad, like this. I am searching for Hyderabad. Or suppose if there are numbers, yesterday you saw, it will return the searched one. Now here, searched city, find, and we use search. Search function we have to write there. That means it will use that search function. And searched city is actually, I will put an alert, or I will say document.write. So city is equal to searched city. It will get the name of that searched city and display. You can see that it is getting the name of the searched city and display. If Hyderabad is found, it will get it. But I want it index. Then what you can do is, here we can use find index. We can use find index. Find will return that value, and find index will return the index number of that value, at which index it is present. It will return the index number of that value. So that means if you have to search directly for the value, you can use general option. But if you want to search based on a condition, here not only string, if it is a number, we can say greater than, less than, greater than or equal, you can use it. That means if you are searching based on a specific condition, then I want to return its index number, then you can use find index. So find index will search for a value based on condition, and it will return the index number of that. What is index of? Index of will return directly the index of that value. But find index will return based on a condition, it will test. If the condition is matching, then only it will return. That is what actually the intention of that find index. So while searching, you have to use the two options, find and find index. Right. Another important some new options into the arrays concept introduced. Some new options introduced into array concept is array have an option of generally you earlier in older versions arrays have a problem. The problem is, suppose I want to read values, I can use for off. If I want to read properties, I can use for in. So I have to use a loop control. Through a looping control, I have to access the values. If I want both, then yesterday I showed you we need to use a different technique for that. What is the technique? We have to say for var property in a collection. After that, we have to first print the property. So I'm printing some document dot write. We have to print property, and we have to pass the collection, and suppose plus some semicolon. I want to print value, and we have to pass the collection. Through into the collection, we have to pass the property. Then it will get the property name and display. This is the approach that we have to follow to access the keys, the values, keys and values and all. In JavaScript ES5 onwards, so some new options introduced into arrays that makes the arrays easy. Actually, so the new options are nothing but they introduced the functions like keys. They introduced the function like keys, and that will return all the keys, directly all the keys. And here, generally, what you can do is, suppose I am writing here console.log, document.write. Cities dot we can use keys. Keys is a function. That means actually this cities of keys is returning an object array iterator. It is returning an iterator which contains collection of all the keys. Then we have to store this in a reference. That means actually we have to store that keys in a reference, cities dot keys. Okay. And I will simply write like all keys. Okay. And we need to use for var item of for var item of so keys, all keys, for all item of all keys. And I will print that item. So document.write item. Then you can see that. So this is going to print the keys. But important is, so this item of keys. So this item of keys. So simply I'm using item of keys. And we want to print that item. That means we want to print that item and display the item. Actually, this item contains the key values, and those key values must be added to the existing values. That means generally item is going to display, means what it contains I will show you first. So because it is an iterator, one of the problem with iterator is several browsers when you are handling the iterations. So when you are handling the iterations, several browsers, because this is supported in only latest versions of browsers also, compatibility issues also will come. They will not work on every browser. So because these are the new options, so here I will show you first the concept here. First, I will show you document.write all keys. We will print all keys and see. You can observe that it is going to return an object array. Object array iterator. That means it is an array type object and it is an iterator. Now technically the meaning is, so it is an array type of object and it is an iterator. Iterator means you need one iterator to read them. Generally, what are the iterators we have learned? Suppose I am using for. I am using the iterator. So for var, suppose I said x of all keys. So that means all keys. I am writing that. That means now what this, from this iterator, it will read every value. And we need to print that value. That means whatever the value is written. So document.write, I am printing that value. So plus br, I will put a line break here. So that means just I defined that option br. But see here, so when I'm
Just
printing those values, it is printing 0, 1, 2, all those values are printed. But actually, this same thing, we have done that by using an operator called in. But now off is enough because this time already keys are collected. They are kept in one reference. You can directly access those keys. Why this type of concept is introduced? Because later we will learn about JSON, JSON type, where we will have a dictionary type collections. So those dictionary type collections of arrays contains properties as keys and the values as values. In such complex data, reading all properties is very important. So, and we need a simplified approach for that. For that reason, so we have to use this key to collect all the keys. That example I will show you means how to create complex data. We will learn by understanding another data type called object. So to understand JSON, you have to learn object also. Currently, this keys is going to return all the keys and store in one reference. But that reference is an array, means it is a collection. It is an iterator. You can access through the iterator and we can print those options. Accessing through array is nothing but, so sometimes generally you see, suppose I said, instead of doing this, I say document dot write. So all keys dot to string, I am writing like this. So this is not suitable. So for these kind of techniques, because it is not just array, it is an array iterator. If it is an array, then to string is enough. But it is not array, it is an array iterator. That means it needs a iterator. It needs an iterator. Iterator means we have to use this for off iterator to read the values from it and print those values. That is what actually the purpose of this uh, keys. Now similarly, one more another function. These are all new functions actually. That is the reason in the old versions these are all not supported. These are all not supported, and the old version browsers will not support these options. Now another important is not only keys. How to access values? Values we can access by using general for off. That is done. We have another option called entries. So we have another option, entries. These are all new options here. Entries also will return an iterator. Entries also will return an iterator. But entries iterator advantage is it will return both keys and values. Through entries, you can return both keys and values. That means what you can do is here, you can simply use instead of keys, entries. We can use entries. So, and you can see you are just printing it. Entries will return both keys and values. So that means I am writing keys values. And I will use that keys values iterator, keys values iterator. And you are printing them. And you can see that the keys values iterator will print both keys and values. Earlier to do that, we have used a different approach. Without this also we can do, already I showed you. But now you have a simplified option. That means you have a simple option that it returns both keys and values just by using an option called entries. By using entries, you can return both keys and values. It can manage both keys and values by using entries. So this is another example. That means we can use entries for returning both keys and values. This will be very important, especially when we are working with complex data types. If you are dealing with complex data types, they will be helpful for you. Another important option is when you are working with the arrays, you have an option for finding and filtering. Two options are there, find and filter. Similar to find and filter, one more new option introduced is, so we have every. So similar to find and filter, we also have an option called every. Generally, so this every is similar to filter option only. It is similar to filter option only. But what is the advantage here is filter will return the values and every will return boolean true or false. That means I said filter. Generally, I said filter. Suppose I am using filter. That means cities dot filter. I am defining filter. You are using cities dot filter or cities dot find. Find will return one value. So cities dot filter, and it is using a function. And function is, it takes the value, and it will return if the value is matching with Hyderabad, like this. That is the condition actually. Now the point is, this filter function will return that value, return all the values that are matching. Only one value means you have to use the find. Now actually, I don't want to return the value. I just want to know, is there any value by that name? Is there a value matching that condition? Is there any sales greater than 40,000? I just want to know the condition, that is it there or not. I don't want it. I need to just verify. So that means, are there any sales above 40,000? If above 40,000 are there, then I will do some other work on them. That means now what you can do is you can use the option. So every, that means what you can do is, so where result is equal to cities dot every. Every is same like a function. That means function, and same, it will use a value, and here the condition is, so it should return, so value is equal to Hyderabad. Now what result contains, so I will print that here, document dot write, I will print that result. That means what actually result contains, and you can see that that result contains false. Now why the point here is false? So that means why the option is false. Here I am checking a condition. Suppose value is equal to Hyderabad. I am assigning that value here. That means it says true. That means it is not condition. It is just have to return the value. Suppose I am saying that value is some Goa. So some value I am defining here. Then it is returning true every time. Even if it is not there, it is returning true. I am using equal, then it is returning false here. Why this problem? Because generally the main concept about this is, that means the condition, like, yeah, the main condition is, the technical condition is, the point is, it is verifying for your value. It is verifying for your value, and it is displaying the value based on the condition. But what type of value? Type is also important to understand. So this is a string type of value, and the string conditions, configuring the string conditions. Checking for a string value is different, and checking for a numerical value is different. Suppose I will show you here, same. I will say that here I am adding a simple var. So some sales is equal to, suppose I said 20,000 and 54,000, and suppose so 35,000, something like this. Values are defined, and I am writing a function here. So function, we will take a function name, suppose search, and we will say val. Okay, we will return the value. So here we will say, so the value is greater than or equal to 50,000. That means, is there any value greater than or equal to 50,000? Then what we will do is, so we will put result is equal to, we need to use sales dot search. We need to sales dot, we have to use every, and here we need to define So the option like this, suppose, so I defined some condition. The condition is search. Okay, that gets the result. That gets the result. Now, important concept here is the main purpose of this every option is how it is going to verify those values. And we will print the result. Document dot write, I am printing that result. That means generally it is checking for greater than 50,000 or not, and it is returning the value. And I say here it is say false because the first point here is it is verifying the value is greater than 50,000 or not. First value, it is returning false. That means it is not showing the value, it is just simply returning false. Suppose I defined the first value as 54,000, first value as 54,000, then I am returning here that is also false. Why? Every time this is false, even the condition is configured because the main intention of every is it checks for all elements in an array and pass the test provided as it will pass the test. And remember, it will pass the test to true only when all the values are matching with the condition. This is the important thing. It is not first value, it is not last value. That means it will verify that all the values are matching with the condition. Then it will return true or false. That is very important. Why? Because it will check every value for that condition. If any one value is not matching, so that means it will see if the first value is not matching, it will return false. Then it will not check for other values. So if all values are matching the condition, still we have options here. I will see this is 55,000. This is 53,000. That means all are matching with the condition that you have mentioned. All are matching with the condition. Then it returns true. It is not first value or it is not any specific value. So every that is the intention of every is to verify every value inside that array. It is to verify every value inside the array. If any one value is not matching with the condition, it stops there. It says false. It's not only first or last value, any value. Every is used to check every value, whether it is matching the condition or not. If it is not, any one value is not matching, then it will immediately return false. So for this kind of numerical data, so we can better use this every to verify are their values matching our condition or not. So then based on that, we can display the results. So this is, so generally how we handle some array manipulations. How do we work with some array manipulation? Some more points are there in the array manipulations and working with them that we will see in our next session, right? Next session, we will finish working with arrays with example. I will give an example also, a complete real world example. How do we deal with the array, right? So in the next session, we'll continue with that, okay, on Monday. What is your query, Mr. Vinay? What you want to query?
Sir,
What is your query?
sir, 2 minute में my screen share.
What is your query?
Sir, my query, sir, मैं sir two values, sir, different. Sir, सर मैंने सर 50 स्टूडेंट की लिस्ट ली, तो सर स्टूडेंट की लिस्ट में सर मुझे 10,000 और 50,000 के बीच में जो स्टूडेंट है, तो उनकी लिस्ट प्रिंट करवाना है। तो सर वो क्यूरी सर मेरे को शो सर मैं कर नहीं पा रहा हूँ उसको। आप
क्या क्वेरी लिखा है?
सर मैं आपको डिस्प्ले कर रहा हूँ 2 मिनट।
हाँ करो
सर ओनली 2 मिनट। सर ये क्यूरी है और सर इसका आउटपुट ये है।
क्या क्वेरी क्या है? लॉजिक दिखाओ।
ओके सर। सर ये लॉजिक लगाया सर, ये वैल्यू दी थी।
वो क्या है? लेस देन 60,000 चेक कर रहे हो ना?
यस सर।
हाँ, फिर
सर वो शो नहीं हो रहा है सर।
क्या शो नहीं हो रहा है? और रिजल्ट क्या है? रिजल्ट फंक्शन क्या है? सेपरेटली रिजल्ट पैरेंथेसिस क्या है वो? तो क्या कर रहे हो? रिजल्ट पैरेंथेसिस क्या कर रहे हो?
हाँ सर। सर मुझे जैसे मैं यहाँ पे 10,000 लिखता हूँ तो सर यहाँ पर ये 50 तो सर सर्च करता हूँ तो ये वैल्यू रिजल्ट नहीं होती ना सर। सर इसका आउटपुट ये है सर।
नहीं, मैं आपको पूछ रहा हूँ कि
हाँ
वो
सर।
रिजल्ट पैरेंथेसिस सेमीकोलन क्या है? वो क्यों लिखा उसको?
सर उसको शो करवाने के लिए।
सर्च फंक्शन क्यों लिखा वो?
सर्च में जब सर्च करूंगा तो सर वो सर्च सर फंक्शन ऑन लोड शो कर रहा है ना सर।
ऑनलोड कहाँ है फिर?
सर ये ऑन
ऑनलोड कहाँ लिखा?
सर वो लिखना सर, सॉरी सर भूल।
हाँ, भूल गए तो कैसा आएगा?
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
कहाँ लिखना है?
ओके
ऑन
सर।
और ऑन क्लिक लिखना पड़ेगा ना?
ओके सर।
What is your question, Shubham?